So here we go. Let's start again. Find your sit bones, drop nice and tall to the ground. We're drawing our ears back over our shoulders and going nice and long through the crown. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose. Blow it out through the mouth like you're blowing out a candle. One more time, deep breath in. Blow it out. And as you feel yourself to begin to sink down in your sit bones, notice what's happening in the hips. Are those legs opening? Just notice, are the knees softening as you come into easy pose? Bring a smile to your face. Notice how easy it is to smile. It takes less muscles to smile than it does to not smile. Find your breath and begin to notice how the air is moving. Is it easy? Is it broken? Just notice. And then begin to deepen the breath, inhaling all the way to the bottom of the lungs, into the center, and all the way to the top. Exhaling from the top to the center, all the way down. And notice as you do this, you can tighten the back of your throat, creating the sound of Ujjayi, the ocean. And beginning to slow it down, deepening it, letting it just draw a little bit bigger breath. And as you exhale, feel that belly button really come back to the spine. That contraction through the diaphragm and the lower belly that actually expels all the air. Inhaling. And exhaling. And this time, at the top of the inhale, pause. And we'll count it for 1, 2, 3. And then exhale. 3, 2, 1. And pause. And inhale. 3, 2, 1. Pause. And exhale. Now that you have your rhythm, we'll do 5 more rounds, setting our intention to just remember to come to your breath. Two more rounds. And last time, bless you. And as we begin to return to normal breath, inhaling and exhaling, know that during the practice of breathing in silence, that if the monkey jumps in and is chattering away, figuring out the day's schedule, what you did yesterday, that's a really normal thing, very common. What's coming next? Just invite the monkey to return to the back side of the brain, where you know he's there, right? You can turn away. Like the children playing outside, you know they're there. If you need them, you can call them in. Other than that, they're safe where they are. Let that monkey be the same. And on the next inhale, inhaling the hands up overhead, nice and long, dropping out of your shoulders. Drop all the way out of the shoulders, engage that pelvic floor, drop through your crown, bring those ears back over your shoulders. Nicely done. Inhale, reaching over through that right hand. Might be opposite of me, that's okay. Reach it over, nice, deep, long reach. And inhaling, coming back to center, exhaling the other direction. Feel the body, what's happening? Is it cold? Is it like, oh man, this is different? Inhaling back to center, exhaling. Let's begin to follow the breath. So we're gonna exhale and reach over. Inhaling, coming back. Exhaling, reaching over. Inhaling, coming back. Exhaling, reaching over. Feel the body begin to open. Nowhere to go. Nothing to do. Just letting those arms blow in the wind. Following your breath. We're going to go one more time all the way through. Inhaling up. Exhaling over. Inhaling up. Exhaling over. Take a moment coming back to the center, pausing with those hands nice and tall. Let's remember, grab the muscles around the bones of your arms. Reach those fingertips to the ceiling, as if you're holding a ball of energy. Take a nice deep breath, bring that ball of energy back over your head. Without lifting through the shoulders. Notice what you feel working. And then inhaling, bringing that ball of energy right in front of you. Right in front of you. So right here, as if you're going to reach across and set that ball of energy down on the floor in front of you. So feel the hinging happening at the hips. And then let the hands come down to the floor, keeping long in the spine. This is really about opening in the hips through the low back. If you have the space to roll and touch your nose to the floor, feel free. That is always an option. But if you do that, make sure and don't lose the lengthening of the spine. Nicely done. Inhaling, bringing that ball of energy back up overhead. Reaching it behind you. Open that heart space nice and slow, nice and long. Inhaling right back to center. We're going to twist. We're going to twist to the left leg. And then exhale your arms down. Left arm becomes behind you. Right hand hooks on that knee. Grow long in the crown. Look over that shoulder. Let this unwinding happen in a very gentle, slow time. So in twisting, sometimes we go to the edge and then we just back off of it. Back off your edge. Take a nice long inhale, and as you exhale, see where your edge is again. And then back off of it. A nice deep inhale, go long in the crown, and then exhale, where's your edge? So the trick here is to always go up to the edge without passing the edge. We have a tendency to always work beyond what maybe is in our best interest. Take a nice deep breath with your head only. Look over the opposite shoulder. Yes. So you have a nice ringing out. So if you're twisting to the left and your head's twisting to the right, it's an opposite thing happening. Grow long in the crown, let those shoulders gently come. Inhaling those hands up overhead. Catching that ball of energy. Feel the strength it takes to hold that ball of energy. So I a lot of times will think of those weighted balls that we used to have when we were in PE in school. They were kind of heavy. You had to engage your muscles to hold it. And even though this ball of energy is light, I want the arms to work as if it's really lifting, working. Feel those arms be strong. Nice long inhale. Exhale, twisting the other direction to the right. Right hand comes behind you. You can touch the floor. Let the left hand hook to your right knee. Begin to look over that right shoulder. Twist into it. Back off of it. Where's your edge? Grow long in the crown on the inhale. Exhale, find your edge. Inhale, back off of it a little bit. Exhale, deepen into it. And sometimes this is an energetic move. For me, it's like a millimeter, maybe 2 millimeters. Not deep at all. But lots of movements happening in my body, growing long in the crown. Taking a nice deep inhale. Inhaling those hands up, coming back out of it. Whoops, sorry, I forgot to twist my head the other way. Exhaling the hands down, all the way to the floor. Let those palms connect to the earth. And if they don't connect to the earth, imagine that they are. Long in the crown, take a nice deep inhale. Look over your left shoulder. One long breath here. On the inhale, bring it back to center. Exhale, look it to the other way. Nice long inhale. And exhale. Nicely done. We're going to spin off of come off of your blanket the long way on your mat. Okay? So, legs come out in front of you. Shake them out from sitting. And then bring your feet to standing. Be mindful here that if at any time it's more than your body can handle, to take a break. You can go to a little mini Shavasana or Supine Goddess. You can flip over and do Child's Pose. So go nice and tall on your sit bones here. Hands come out to the side and we're going to sink straight back. Grow long in the crown, drop out of the shoulders, and then we're going to come straight up and halfway back. We're going to move with the breath. So inhale up, exhale back. Inhale up, exhale back. So really important here that you're engaged through your pelvic floor and that you're allowing the belly button to go to your spine. Now, if this is too quick for you, slow your breath down. I really want you to follow your breath. 3 more. And then hold right here. Drop out of your shoulders. Bring that pelvic floor up. Belly button to the spine. You can feel it. If you have the space, try lifting your left leg off the floor. Set it down, lift the right leg. Set it down, lift the left leg. Follow our breath. So, One more, you can do it. Right here, stop with both legs and hold. Now, if you can't do it, which I can't today, then come back to feet on floor. But if you can hold it, do it. Watch what's behind you so you don't flip back and hit your head. Just be mindful. And inhaling, coming up. Hook those arms under your knees. Tuck that chin down. Good job. Yes. Starting out nice and early with a little core work. Coming back to feet hip distance apart. Hands come back up. Here we go again. Exhale back. Inhale up. Exhale back. Inhale up. Exhale back. Inhale up. Exhale back. Inhale up. We're going to do 4 more. And hold it right here. Not your breath, just the pose. Remember to keep breathing. And inhale, coming up, scooping those hands around, tucking it in. You got it. So this is kind of like child's pose, only it's seated. Nicely done. Lengthen through those legs, coming into Dandasana, inhaling those hands up. Seated staff pose, exhaling, diving forward. So you might begin to feel those core muscles talk to you. That's okay. Breathe into it. Find your breath. We're going to pause here. I feel my shoulders creeping up to my ears. So if you're noticing that, what would it feel like to let them soften down? Just for this time, nothing to support on your shoulders. Just allowing yourself to be in seated forward fold. Inhaling those hands up, circling them around, bringing them right behind you. And then exhaling, draw those elbows together, point those toes, and lift straight up. Reverse it. And exhaling down. Inhaling those hands back up. And flying forward. Notice where your hands come down this time. It's an interesting phenomenon that happens when we open the front body, how much easier the back body opens. Notice if you can go a little deeper into this forward fold. Notice if you can let go of one more layer of hold. Find your breath, find your ujjayi. Inhaling the hands up, circling them around, hands come behind you, pressing down into the floor. Reverse plank, there it is. Engage that pelvic floor, lift up for along the ground, looking good. And a nice long inhale through the crown, lowering down, coming back onto those hip bones. Last one, inhaling the hands up, exhaling, swan dive forward. Knowing that if you need a break, the break here would be lying down on your back and bringing your knees to your chest, rocking side to side. Giving that abdominal cavity a little break. Really warming from the center of the body today. Finding your breath, connecting in with that ujjayi breath. Inhaling, drawing those hands up, exhaling them down. Right behind you, last reverse plank. Really see if you can connect in with that pelvic floor and that belly button and draw straight up, bringing that crown straight back over your shoulders. It's an interesting phenomenon that if you lengthen through your crown and point your toes, the long line of energy begins to support you along your spine. And it becomes less about the muscle supporting you and more about the energy. One more breath, nice and long. Lift into it. Exhaling, rolling down. Hands come up. Exhaling them down right here. Nicely done. And spinning around. Coming into tabletop. Finding where tabletop is supported to you. So building from the palms, up your arm, spin those elbows in to face each other. Hips, knees underneath you. And then drop down into cow. Take a nice long inhale, but hang out in cow here. So continue to inhale and exhale. And just notice what it feels like to let everything open to the front of the body. Feels funny to inhale this way, but just notice what it feels like. And then take a nice long inhale. Maybe it's exhale, it feels funny. And then exhale up into cat. Same here. Just hang out here. Begin to explore what it feels like. Give a little movement. Stretch back in your hips while you're in cat. Really bring that chin into your chest. And then come back to center. And on your next inhale, dropping down into cow and move with it. Inhaling into cow. Exhaling into cat. Inhaling into cow. Exhaling into cat. Really drink it in. The fluidity in the spine is really important. Good spinal health is such an important part of our overall health. Coming back into your full expression in tabletop. Double check, make sure those hands are directly under your shoulders. The eyes of the elbows are facing each other to open that back body. Imagine that I'm coming around and putting my hands around your waist and just inviting you to draw your belly button up to your spine and lengthen through your crown. You have your head drop. See what it feels like to grow long in that crown. Make a long line of energy here. And then begin to make circles around the knees and the wrist. I'm going counterclockwise first. Start little. These hands and arms do lots of work throughout the day. The hips support us as we move forward in our life. And my circle looks like kind of a squished oval, but that's okay. Just notice how your body's moving. And then pause wherever you are and go the other way. Can you feel it in your knees? And if you're on a hardwood floor and you need to put a blanket under your knees or something, that's okay, do that. Support yourself. It's okay to be comfortable. It's okay to experience discomfort. Oh, goes my knee. Coming back to center. Coming right into your tabletop. Engage that belly button, engage that core. Really feel the strength right in the center of your body. This is the best place to move from life, is through the center of your body. Your balance, your dantian, that's what it is called in the ancient Chinese world. On the next inhale, bring your right foot forward, coming into low lunge. So sometimes you really do need a blanket under your knee here, because this is the one place where you're allowed to let all your weight go before your ankle. But if you don't, that's the preference. So knee over the ankle is good. Dropping straight down. If you need blocks, this is the place to do it. I'm getting my hands on some blocks, so if anybody at home needs blocks, let me know, and I can get some to you. Really sink down into it. Bringing that left hand next to your right foot. Engage that pelvic floor and spin open into twist. Here it is. So this twist will build lots of heat. So find your breath, keep sinking forward. Checking you if I can see you at home. Checking you guys here. There we go. Looks good. Keep sinking forward into that quad. Engage that pelvic floor. Spinning up. Reaching that hand to the ceiling, breathing, growing long in your crown, knowing that anytime it's okay to step back into child's pose if you need a break. 3 more breaths. Find your ujjayi. Give that mind something to do. Focusing on the breath. One more. Make a nice full expression of this twist. Inhale, coming back down. But instead of stepping out of it, we're going to sink straight back. So sit back. Let that nose travel to the knee. Now, I have a really fun experience that I'm experiencing with my body these days, and it's called extra tissue in the front. So I'm just going to move it out of the way, so that gives me a little bit of space to move forward in my leg. And that's the beauty of the front body. When we have extra tissue there, it's very pliable. It's very willing to move out of the way. So just embrace that. Allow it to be part of who you are. And if you can touch your toe, you can do that. You can bend all the way over and make it look really cool. That's awesome. Do that. Nicely done. Inhaling, coming back to center, sinking all the way forward into that deep lunge again. So, deep lunge. Imagine that you're going to draw your knees together, okay? It's not going to happen, but energetically, it's going to square that pelvis off. You're going to really feel it. That's the sensation of drawing the right hip back and the left hip forward. Is when you work to draw your knees together. Deep breath in. Nicely done. Place that left hand next to the right foot again. This time, spin open a little bit deeper. Spin that hand behind you and bring it all the way behind you. Circling it around your back body. Breathe into it. This catches all the serratus muscles. Those are the muscles between the ribs. Sink a little deeper. Find your edge. On the exhale, sinking a little deeper, twisting a little bit more. Inhaling that hand up, cartwheeling it down, bringing it back, and headed into tabletop. My tabletop arrival is a little less than graceful, but that's okay. Whatever it takes in your body to get there. Find your tabletop, wiggle around, notice what's happening in the left hip, notice what's happening in the right hip. Bring those heels together, sink back into child's pose. There it is. So, remembering that child's pose is always an acceptable place to go to if you've had enough. And this is enough of anything, enough yoga, enough of your day, enough of employees, enough of students, enough of cattle, enough of children, enough of anything. Drop into child's pose. There's something very powerful about folding into yourself and connecting that third eye to the earth. Feel that third eye open. Pour everything you no longer need right into Mother Earth. She's willing to catch it for you. Inhaling, rising back up. Coming back into tabletop. The cool thing about Mother Earth is if you truly want back whatever you gave her, she'll give it to you. I find that when I give it to her, it just goes away. On the next inhale, dropping down into cow. Exhaling up into cow. Dropping down into cow. Notice the difference from the exhaling up into cow. One more time. Deep breath, inhaling down. Exhaling up. Engage that pelvic floor. Inhale and bring that left foot forward. Sometimes you gotta help it. Sometimes it's just this beautiful, cool, smooth transition. Whatever it looks like in your body, find yourself arriving in low lunge with your foot connecting to the earth. That back foot is flat. So if you've got your toes curled under, release them. Let that back leg kind of be not so much on vacation, but also not working. Now sink forward, really sink into this. Imagine that you're pulling those knees together. Place that right hand next to the left foot, engage your pelvic floor, and spin open. There it is. Grow long in your crown. And know that if your twist is your arm out to the side, this might be your twist right here. That's okay. Let that be your twist. There's no judgment. There's only allowing. Finding your breath. Sinking in. If you need to move in and out of this, do that. 3 more breaths. Connect in with that ujjayi. Inhale through those fingertips. Exhale, coming back down to low lunge, and then sinking straight back. Notice what's happening. So here's what happened in my body. My left toes spun out, so they went to the corner. And so I'm just going to take a minute to readjust that. Lengthen strong through my leg. Invite my front body to move out of the way. And then I'm going to lengthen long in the crown. Head my nose to my knee, which is, you guys, if you could see me in my head, it looks so cool. So imagine how cool you look. And then that's where the body will go. Grow long. Long in the spine. Long in the crown. Nice deep breath in. Exhale it, sinking back forward. Hand next to the foot. Notice how this twist is different this time. Spinning open. Spin that hand behind you and bring that arm all the way behind you. Now see if you can open that shoulder to the sun and look back up over it. What is over that left shoulder? Just notice. Go long in your crown. If you're trembling, that's good. Things are opening and changing. Breathing into it. Keep sinking. One more breath. Inhaling, lifting that arm back up. Exhaling, coming back down. Bringing that foot back into tabletop. Do a nice circle. Make sure those hands are under your shoulders. Mine get kind of splayed out. And a circle the other way. And a sinking straight back. You can open your knees. You can leave them together. Whatever child pose looks like in your body. Play with this a little bit. What can you do a little differently today that you haven't ever done in child's pose? Or maybe you have done it, but it's been a long time. Hold yourself a little deeper. Sink a little lower into your knees. Connect your head to the mat. Breathe into it. Nicely done. Inhaling, rising back up to tabletop. Knees directly underneath your hips. Notice where you are on your mat. We're going to curl our toes under, and we're going to exhale right up into downward facing dog. There's our dog. So take a look at your feet. My hips, although wide, are not this wide. Walk them in if they need to. If your feet are too close together, walk them apart. What's happening in your hands? Are you on your fingertips? Drop into the palm of your hand. So the weight in my hands is from my thumb all the way around my whole palm. The pad of my hands are connecting to the earth, and the pads of my fingertip are kind of like Spider-Man-ing the mat. And my knees are soft because my hamstrings are tight. Inhale up on your tiptoes, exhale into that right heel. Inhale up onto the tiptoes, exhale into the left heel. Inhale up, exhale into both of them.
We've opened those hamstrings, so your heels might reach the floor and they might not. There's no judgment either way. Sink back. Let go of that head. Find your breath. We're going to do 3 more. Nicely done. We're going to find our way into standing forward fold. So you can take 1 long step. You can take 27 little ones. You can take 1 big one. Wherever it is, come into standing forward fold. Take a nice inhale and begin to roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. There it is. We're standing mountain. Bring your hands all the way up overhead. Almost as if you're growing tall for the first time. Catch that ball of energy. Feel those arms grow strong. On the next inhale, exhale into your right hip, dropping over, standing half moon. Feel into it. Inhaling, coming back to center. Exhaling, headed the other way. Inhaling back to center, softening the gaze. Hands are still overhead. We're going to prepare for a little balance. So we're going to bring our arms right down in front of us, as if we're going to just set them on a counter right at shoulder height. Engage that pelvic floor. Pour into your right foot. Lift that left knee off the floor. Right here. Flex the foot. Bend the knee is at a 90-degree angle. Soften your toes. Exhaling, hands and arms down, leg down. Coming into full mountain right here, palms facing forward. Notice what it feels like to drop into your feet. So it's a little bit of an interesting proprioception experience, which is our space, our relation in space. When you've balanced on one leg and then set your foot down, it's going to feel a little different. See if you can feel your feet drop into the earth and then pour into that left foot. Palms come flat, coming back to shoulder height, lifting through that right leg. Engage the foot. So you're flexing the foot, knee is bent. Breathing into it. Nowhere to go. Nothing to do. And exhaling down. Coming back into full mountain. If you got to wiggle around, do it. The body likes to wiggle. If you ever look at like a 6-year-old or younger, they wiggle all the time. So let's find that. As we go through life, remember to wiggle. That's what keeps us nice and flexible. Grow long in your crown. Find the strength of mountain, connect in with your breath. Notice where your ears are. Pull them back over your head. Over your shoulder. Who's got a visual of that? Ears over your head. That's a good one. Famous gumbo. Inhaling your hands up overhead. Exhaling, swan dive forward. Hands on either side of your feet, stepping back into downward facing dog. So I've had a request for pigeon today. So, yes, I remember. So find your full expression of dog and check in. Body, are you ready for pigeon today? And your body says, no way. I want you to go all the way to lying on your back, and you can do reverse pigeon, okay? So everybody else who's ready for pigeon, lift your right leg up. Exhale that knee up in between your hands and sink that leg behind you. Now, before you go all the way to the floor here, lower your knee. The important thing is you keep your hips square. The wider your foot out is, the deeper pigeon is going to feel. If you have a blanket handy, you can fold it and put it underneath your right hip. Now sink straight back. What I'm wanting to avoid is the falling over, okay? So more important that you square your hips off and hang out here. So everybody find your breath, stay there. For those of you at home, I'm gonna just show you really quick. Reverse pigeon, crossing your knee, leg up, draw it in. For those of you here with me in the studio, if you wanna do this, you can, but this is reverse pigeon right here. Very nice way to protect your hips, to protect your knees. Keep breathing, still in pigeon. So on the next inhale, go long in your crown, nice and long, give a little arch in your back, and then exhale, fold over that leg. Bring your arms to your elbows. We're not gonna go all the way down. If you're more advanced and you have the space to do that, and you wanna lay completely flat, go right ahead. But this is actually okay as we work back into the memory of pigeon. Cellular memory is very good. Everybody looks really nice. It's good. Nice and square. Find your breath. Feel that hip opening. Feel that psoas opening. Inhaling, bringing your hands back under your shoulders. Right here. Grow long. This is all the further we're going to go today, but for those of you at home, if you want to deepen this and go all the way up, grab your foot, you can do all of that, it's okay. But I'm hanging out here today, allowing my body to open. Breathe into it. Coming up onto your fingertips, feel that heart open, just a little teeny back bend, really engage that pelvic floor. Curling that left toe under, hands come flat, stepping back into downward facing dog, walk it out. There it is. Sink into your heels, take a nice deep breath in, inhaling, lift that left leg, exhale it all the way to the front of the mat. Dropping out of that back leg. Again, if you have a blanket handy and you want to bolster, you can right here. Pubic bones adjusting in my body. For those of you lying on your back, switch legs, cross your left leg over your right knee and bring it up. Take a minute, find your breath, engage your core. Make sure you're not falling out of this. Honor where your body is. If you want it deeper in your hip, draw your foot out. Not happening here, but it's available. For those of you who are a little more flexible in the hips, feel free. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale. Nice deep inhale. Go long in the crown. Exhale, fold over. Hello, hip. Hello, IT band. We appreciate you as you support us through life. Nice deep breath in. Bring yourself back up onto your hands. If you have the space, come up on your fingertips. Really lengthen through that front body. Open the heart. Little teeny back bend here. Flatten down through the hands. Curl that right toe under. Exhale back into downward facing dog. So if you were on your blanket, you'll have to move it out of the way. Be careful in doing so. Sink all the way back into dog. Find your breath. This is the counter pose for pigeon, it's dog. And on the next inhale, find your way to lying on your back. So whatever that looks like. For some of you, it looks like going through a vinyasa. For some of you, it looks like jumping your feet through your arms. For a lot of us, it just looks like, oh, thank goodness, we're on the floor. So, find your feet in standing, walk them in close to your behind. The first thing I want everybody to do is to take a hold of the back of their head and lengthen your neck. Set that down, then touch the crown of your head and grow long. Scoop the shoulder blades underneath you, and now bring your hands flat on the floor. Take a nice deep inhale, flatten that belly button to the floor. Exhale, release it out. This time, nice deep inhale, draw that pelvic floor up, so it's like doing a Kegel and the belly button to the spine. Nice, good, strong center. And exhale it out. And this time, as you inhale, draw in through your belly button and your pelvic floor, pressing through the feet, leaving the hips soft. See, what is the distance you can travel just from sheer energetics? So, see, is that tissue soft? You can touch it and see. Find your breath. No looking left or right. Keep looking at the ceiling. Take a nice deep inhale. Press into the floor a little deeper. At this point, you might want to engage those glutes as you come into full expression of bridge. Some of you are going to want to clasp your hands underneath your body. You can do that. That deepens this posture just a little bit. And then, as if you have a ball between your knees, grab onto it. Yeah, looks good. So the energetics of holding that ball between your knees is really important because that's the adductor part of the leg. So everything's working here from the waist down. You've got the adductors holding onto that beach ball or your block. You've got the pelvic floor working to stabilize the pelvis. And all of the quads, which are the top of your legs, are supporting, and the hamstrings are contracted to help lift along with your glutes, your butt muscles. Soften your toes, keep breathing. On the next inhale, prepare to deepen this posture. So nice long inhale, exhale, take it a little deeper. So we're going to have 3 more breaths. And what's going to happen here is the body's going to want to move on its own. So close your eyes. And as the body begins to want to move into meditation and motion, you let it without question. If you're unsure of what that looks like or feels like, it's going to be different for every body. So the importance of meditation and motion, keeping your eyes closed, following that body wisdom, not the mind, just the body. And for some of you, you'll stay in bridge because you may or may not feel that movement. And for some of you, for me, what happens is I want to go right into meditation and motion as soon as I go to bridge. Now, if that's avoidance, maybe. Or is it my body is just so used to going into meditation and motion from bridge, it just says, oh, yay, this is where we're going. Find your breath. Follow that internal wisdom. And it may not look like what you think yoga looks like. That's okay. In the next 3 or 4 breaths, begin to consider the idea of coming out of meditation and motion. But if your body's really not finished with it, don't come out of it, stay there. It's okay. You don't have to remove yourself from it. And as You follow your breath. Find yourself coming to knees at chest. Gently rocking side to side. We'll be here for a few breaths, waiting for everybody to join us. So know that when I say 4 or 5 breaths, you really have like 10. So as you arrive at knees at chest, bring those knees together. Bring them together. Point the toes. Open the hands wide into T position. And on the next inhale, take a nice deep breath in. Exhale and let those knees travel to the right. You're going to twist to the right first, and you're just going to stack one knee on top of the other. And as you do so, you're going to soften back into your shoulders and then allow your nose to travel as if it's going to look at the left hand. And then soften into this. Allow the body to just soften. And the only exception is the pelvic floor because it's supporting the lower body. And it's a nice time to really identify where that is. And the suggestion of engaging the pelvic floor is less about clenching and more about supporting. So play with that. What does it feel like to engage a muscle that's supportive versus locked down? Just notice. Inhale, bring your nose to center. So you're looking at the ceiling. Take a nice deep breath in, engage that belly button, and initiate the movement to bring those knees back to center. And then exhale in the other way. Twisting to the left. Stacking one knee on top of the other one. And know that in your body that the knees may not stack. Sometimes they'll look like, one's open, or maybe they don't even go to the floor. And that's okay, no problem. This is more about wringing out the end of the practice. Find your breath. And on the next inhale, bring that nose back to center, looking at the ceiling. Lengthen through the crown, dropping out of your shoulders. Notice how sometimes the shoulders even come into play when you're lying on the floor. Where are you hanging on that you can let go? Engage that pelvic floor. Inhale, bring those knees back to center. And then you can lengthen your legs out one at a time, or you can slide them out both at the same time. Inhaling the hands up overhead. Taking nice deep breaths. Exhaling, letting go. And then ask yourself as you're lying here, like, wow, I did a great job. Is there anything else I need to do to finish it? And the answer might be, let's go to Shavasana. I just really want to go to Shavasana. Let that happen. If the body's asking for another downward facing dog, let that happen. Just notice, where does your body need to go? Does it need another bridge? Does it need a blanket to cover up with? Honor what it needs. The wisdom of the body is profound. Feel yourself drop into that space of not here, not there. Lean into life.
Experience is when we make a choice, action, and then experience the consequence, reaction. Lean into the choice. Feel into the reaction. What might I do different? What works for me? Lean into life. Feel the edge. Step back from the edge. Lean into life. This is how we grow. This is how we move. This is how experience is gained. Begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Inviting yourself back to now. And as you're ready, roll to your side. Pause there. When you're ready, you can come back to easy pose. Hands to your heart. Namaste. Namaste.